set up, getting the basics down, the lighting down, some really quick, cheap tips to get better product shots, better food shots. So food photography and product photography tend to be really, really similar. Lots of table setups in the studio, similar kinds of lighting, but teaching these people how to, use their camera, how to set up a light, it really got me thinking about how to get better at photography. And so here's a tip that is kind of like a surefire way to get better as a photographer. This guy, well, not this guy, but this guy is an example. So you'll hear it a lot. People saying, you want to get better at photography, try film. This happens when you go to uni. You go and do a BA in photography and they make you use film a lot. I believe anyway, I didn't do one. But what happens then is people go and they go and buy a Hasselblad. I don't have one anymore, but I did buy one. They buy a Nikon F3, a Leica M3. They spend a lot of money on a film camera and they use it like I use this one. So I love this camera. I don't love it for any other reason than it's taken some great pictures. Also, I really like the retro stylings. I have no idea how much this camera was new. I have no idea when it came out. I know that I really like the way it opens. I know I like the look of this. I like the fact that it's got a flash that runs on AA batteries. Quick side note, when I bought this, the batteries that were in it were like fused in there. I actually bought this and then had to go and buy a set of pliers to get the batteries out. Yes, this leaks light. Yes, this has no control to it. But to me, this camera opened up a whole world of things, a whole theory of photography that I didn't have before. I bought this because I didn't take my camera away with me once. I went to the Lake District and I found this in a charity shop. And then I went to a Boots, some of which still sell film, and I bought 4 or 5 rolls of film for it, and then the pliers, and then some batteries. And since then it's been on pretty much every trip that I've been on. I'm not sure why, but I've built up an attachment to this camera. I nearly threw it away because the light leaks got so bad. But I think it's made me a better photographer. And it's not been out recently, mainly because I've not been on many trips. But I decided to grab it out again and ran a roll of Fuji something through it. And I just got the prints back today, so let's go have a look at those. So I get these pictures developed at a little lab, basically a 5-minute sojourn up the road, and it's run by a family, and it's been going for quite a while, I think. The reason I get them developed there, even if they're not the cheapest, maybe not the best, it's because I really want there to be a lab that's 5 minutes walk from my house, and if I don't use it and other people don't use it, it's not going to be there. But that's kind of beside the point. Recently I've been opting for prints over getting scans, because I can scan the film later and the scans that they give you are pretty awful. Here's my pictures, there's my film. This is the first time I'm looking at these two. First off, we've got some pictures. I was just walking around Manchester. This is a very clean picture actually, no light leaks or anything. This one's a little bit more leaky. I mean, I quite like it. The problem is I've not framed it up very well. Yeah, the canal was empty. I'm not sure what's going on with the leaks here. I quite like what they're doing to the picture. An otherwise quite boring picture. See, you're going to end up with things like this. This isn't a very interesting photograph at all. But the fact that I took this picture and I'm looking at it printed now makes this a very different thing to if I just chimped it on the back of the camera, left it there to delete in Lightroom or to X. It doesn't get looked at, and the problem with it not getting looked at is you can't see your mistakes. And if you can't see your mistakes, you can't get better from it. You can't learn from this picture if it's sat on a computer somewhere. Now, I quite like this one. What I was trying to do, I think, is get the sun behind the lamppost. But this picture is a good example of the quality that you get from this camera was £2 in a charity shop, and the resolution and the the sharpness. Obviously that's the film, which was 25p in another charity shop. It needs a bit of cropping to get my shadow out. It's a relatively nice picture. I think I'll maybe crop in there as well. I really like that this building, this new building, comes in over here. Meh. There's reflections of windows from another building in this building. I don't think I was going for that, so meh. I like this one. I like the facade of this building, how it's juxtaposed with factory darkness on this side. All the lights hitting the newer building, and the perspective kind of takes you down this route that goes that way. I like that one. Some of the shortfalls are evident because there's no detail down here, but I really like this picture. It's kind of like sunset, probably about an hour before sunset, 2 hours before sunset maybe. But I really like the way the sun hits this building. This focal point is quite nice as well. Ooh, do I like this, do I not? I quite like this one. I like the fact that this car park lines are painted as bottles. I don't really know why. Oh, I like this one. But unfortunately, my little goose friend that was posing is washed out by a light leak and is quite dark. This is quite beautiful. I like that there's detail retained in the shadows. It makes for such a small portion of the image being the focal point. This perspective kind of draws you right in, but it's because that's in the middle, it's interesting. The gorillas in the mist. I really like this picture. We happened upon some guys, and I'll show you this next one. They were painting the roads and taking markings off the roads, so they had two things kind of going. This is like the fire in the back of the truck, which I really like that one. And this is kind of the steam and the smoke created from whatever they were doing. I really like that. Oh, here's one of the guys like actually doing it. This is him burning the line off the road. Managed to frame him perfectly in the centre. See, I don't think I would have got this picture any other way. I feel like an absolute knobhead doing this with my iPhone, but I think this is a beautiful picture. So this was kind of my second attempt at it. I don't like that one anywhere near as much. I took this shot and I didn't know if it's going to be good because obviously it's on film and this is the first time I'm seeing it. But because I've shot with this camera before, because I've shot with film before, I kind of already knew that it wasn't a great shot without being able to see it. And so I moved in a little bit and took a different shot. I waited for Katie to go under the bridge. I think this is beautiful again, and the light leak takes away a little bit, but I think it's a beautiful photograph. Another kind of mid-range one. I really like the way the light hits this building. I like that the crane's in there, because often you get this bit of sky in photographs, especially these vanishing point type photographs. You get this bit of sky that doesn't have anything in it, and I like that the crane's there. That's a keeper. Oh, so we went to Liverpool as well. There wasn't a lot to that one. Radio City Tower. This is a very, very pedestrian shot. So this is another kind of vanishing point photograph. I'm trying to capture someone. This one I like more, but I still don't like it that much. I like this one because the light leak kind of almost looks like the light trails you get, you know, with the long shutter, but it's not great. Now this one I prefer. I think it's because it's that kind of H that you get with these vanishing point pictures. I've managed to keep some detail in the sky with this. The camera's completely automatic, but I like that one. Here's my second attempt. Like I said before, I took the first picture of the radio tower, but because I know without seeing the picture that it's probably not going to be good. So you go from this, which is kind of pedestrian and boring, to this, which I waited for these guys who kind of, to me, they look kind of rough and ready. I waited for them to come as close to the foreground as I could. Whilst the Radio City Tower is in the background and it's lit better because I'm around the other side of it now, and this makes for a much better picture. This one's okay. I like these stairs, but I like the architecture more. I like my own picture. This is dull. This one's a bit better. I wish there was more. I wish the sky was in there more. I quite like them. Oh, they look nice together. I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't. I've printed them out. Again, quite pedestrian. I remember having an idea for this one, but I really don't think it's come off. This one I like a lot more, but yeah, it needs cropping. Problem is, I like this person here, and if you crop it, you're going to lose that person. That is an unfortunate consequence of not paying enough attention. If I'd have just tilted the camera slightly, I wouldn't have this issue. But I can't crop this because I'll lose this person. And that person kind of makes that. If that person's legs were cut off, it wouldn't be a good picture. This was opportunistic, I don't like it. This is better but still bad. The best of the pictures out of the shots of this building, but still bad. And we end on a high. I knew I was going to like it. So I kind of came to photography in a unique way, I guess. When I was studying architecture, I was using photography to do site surveys, so I was taking lots of photographs. And it wasn't until I went to Malta for 2 weeks, and we did a big project there that kind of spanned the site survey. Basically took the first 2 weeks, and what that did was it meant that I took lots and lots and lots of photographs of a very, very beautiful place. But my intention wasn't to take beautiful photographs. My intention was to document this site. And the idea always was that it had to be printed big and pinned up. And obviously I was adding sort of digital manipulation and digital painting onto these photographs, but they were photographs that were A1, printed immaculate levels of detail. It's that experience that makes me realise you need to look at photographs printed. And also, because I was only shooting to document, I wasn't concerned at looking at the back of the camera a lot. I had the camera set to auto, I didn't really know how to use it. And I think that kind of disconnect between you and the actual photo every time you take it can be really, really influential on how you get better as a photographer. I think this is important. This is really important. My challenge to you, if you want to get better at photography, is, beg, steal or borrow a crappy old camera that'll take some cheap batteries and some cheap film and use it and go and take it places, and don't care if it gets broken, because that is another thing that this excels in. I don't care about this thing getting broken, so I will take it anywhere. It can die on a trip if needs be, but it'll die for good photographs. You'll learn a lot from the experience of shooting with a crappy camera.